Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Tariq Shahzad. Today topic is thermoregulation in mammals or animals. That how the body temperature of the animal is regulated between environment and their body. So this topic is divided into three different categories. First of all, how the heat is produced, number one, and number two, how the extra heat is dissipated, number two, and number three, exchange of heat between animal and their environment. Means this topic will cover three different things: how the heat is produced in the mammals, number one, and number two, how the extra heat is released to outer environment, number two, and number three is how animal exchange their heat or their body heat to external environment. Means how they gain from external environment and how they released heat to external environment. These three different things we have to discuss in our topic. It is easy for your learning and also to understand it that you have to divide it into these three things. Or keep in mind that in this topic we will discuss only these three things, then it will become easy for you to learn and understand and keep in your mind for a long time. So first of all is introduction about this thermoregulation in mammals or human. That mammals including humans and birds, mammals including humans and birds, maintain their body temperature, and in mammals and human body temperature range from 36 to 38 Celsius, whereas in birds it range from 38 to 40 Celsius. So there are two different temperature range in case of humans and birds. In human it is 36 to 38, whereas in birds it is 38 or 39 to 41 or 40 Celsius temperature. So these are endotherms, as we know that in previous lecture that mammals are endotherm, mean they produce their internal body heat and keep their temperature around about 36 to 38. So endothermic nature of mammals and birds provide them, means endothermic nature is responsible for high metabolic rate, and number two, availability of energy round the clock. Means their metabolism is responsible that it produce energy or heat for the mammals or the animal around the clock. Means this heat is available at all time for the animal, and these two causes produce adaptations that these birds or humans can have wider diversity. Means that they can found in round about every type of environment, and number two, distribution in diversified region of earth. Mean they are present in extreme environment in one condition and extreme environment in other condition. For example, humans can survive even at lowest possible temperature. For example, in Russian country there is an area where is lowest possible temperature on which humans can survive, and even they are surviving. So it is the one extreme at lowest possible temperature, whereas an other extreme, for example in Sibbi and Jacobabad of Pakistan, you know that there is a high range of temperature, and there humans can also survive, they can bear this temperature. So he says that in diversified region of earth, animals or humans can survive, and in wider diversity mean in different or for example in every type of environment, in hilly areas, in deserts, in mountains, and in greenish areas, everywhere animals are present including human and birds. So that is due to their endothermic nature, that it can regulate their body temperature in lowest possible temperature, and they can release heat even in the environment where the outer temperature is very high. Now the next that was introduction about the thermoregulation in mammals or humans. Next one is mammals produce heat. Means number one is heat production, that how they produce heat in their body, number one, And number 2, how if the heat is extra, how they dissipate their heat, mean how they waste or release their heat to outside the environment. So number 2, mammals heat dissipation. Number 1, heat production. Number 2, dissipation. And number 3, exchange of heat with environment. So these 3 are different things that we have to discuss. So number 1 is mammals heat produced through 3 different mechanisms. Number 1, shivering thermogenesis. Number 2, non-shivering thermogenesis. And number 3, brown fats. So these are 3 different mechanisms through which mammals can produce energy. Number 1, shivering thermogenesis. Shivering thermogenesis is a type of thermogenesis or heat production that is produced through muscle contraction, and muscle contraction produce heat through ATP hydrolysis, and ATP hydrolysis produce energy. That's why it is also used for maintaining the body temperature of the animals. So shivering thermogenesis, muscle contraction. If heat is produced through muscle contraction or increased muscle contraction in the animal, it will called as shivering thermogenesis. Whereas next one and second one is non-shivering thermogenesis. Non-shivering thermogenesis mean the type of thermogenesis that involves or heat production that involves through hormonal heat production. So non-shivering thermogenesis is hormonal energy production or heat production, that is called as non-shivering thermogenesis. Add some extra to your topic that the hormonal production of energy or heat, there are 2 different hormones, glucocorticoid and thyroxine. Thyroxine is released from thyroid gland, whereas glucocorticoid is released from adrenal cortex. So adrenal cortex and thyroid glands are responsible for the non-shivering thermogenesis. So they produce these hormones cause the production of heat, but how they cause the production of heat, it is an separate question. But you focus or you have to limit it to your syllabus on, not indulge yourself into an extra activities or extra theory. So that one is completed. Non-shivering thermogenesis. Third one is brown fat. In mammals, heat production or rapid heat production, this is also an MCQ, that rapid heat production is carried through brown fat. This line is an MCQ's mark in your book as an MCQ's, that brown fat is responsible for heat production in mammals. That one, the heat production. Now if the heat produce access to the body, then how it is released from the body. So mammals heat dissipation, how they release their heat to outer environment. So mammals heat dissipation, if overproduction of heat then dissipated through. This line is extra, you have to write in your book that if overproduction of heat, then how it is dissipated. There are 2 different mechanisms, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is increased exposed surface. For example, if our body temperature goes on, we can disrobe ourselves, we put off our shirts as well as make our clothes short, that maximum our body surface is exposed to outer environment, and it causes to transfer of it from our body to external environment. As much our body surface is exposing to our outer environment, it will leads to release of body heat to extra outer environment. And if our body surface exposing to environment is short, then the rate of heat transfer will be small. So increased exposed surface, blood flow increase exchange to outer environment, number 1. And number 2, evaporating cooling. You know well that during the process of sweating, extra body heat along with the water vapors released from the body. So these are 2 different mechanisms for dissipation of heat from the body of mammals. Number 3rd and last one is exchange of heat, that how heat is exchanged between the animals and their body. So there are 2 different conditions. In cooled temperature what occur, and in warmth temperature what occurs. So you have to make these 2 headings. Number one, in cooled temperature. In cool temperature, vasoconstriction, not vasodilation, occur in the cool temperature. Only vasoconstriction occur. Vasoconstriction means blood vessels in our body becomes constricted, not dilated, that they have to conserve the body heat. So blood vessels contraction or vasoconstriction. Number two, in humans, how it occur? In humans, several degree lower in arms plus legs. As you know that the body temperature in our legs and arms is lower than as compared to our main trunk. Trunk means abdominal and thoracic cavity, in which our vital organs are present, involving in different metabolic activity. So this temperature is higher as compared to the temperature of legs and arms. Next one, fatty layer. As you know that different fatty parts or fatty layers are present in our body, and this fatty layer is also responsible to prevent the loss of heat, to prevent the loss of heat to the outer environment. So it will act as an insulator. And next one is land mammal, that how in cool temperature land mammals regulate their body temperature. They raise their fur. This one is an MCQ, that in which type of mammals it occur. It occur in land mammals, that they raise their fur. Mark in your book as an MCQ that the land mammals raise their fur. This is an MCQ. And trap mean raise their fur or hairs that are present on their body, and they trap a thick layer between the hairs, and this layer of air act as an insulator, and it not allow the escape of heat to outer body. Next one is in marine mammals. Marine mammals, whales or seals remain in cooled environment. Means in which type of environment they are living, the temperature is down. So fatty layer or fat layer called blubber act as an insulator. Blubber is similar to that one fat layer like in humans. Next and last one is in warm temperature. That all we discussed was related to cold temperature, and next one is related to warm temperature, that if the outer temperature if the body temperature of an animal is high and outer temperature is low, then how animal will compensate this. So in warm temperature there are only two headings about mammals, marine mammals and terrestrial mammal. In marine mammals, blood vessels outer layer of skin dissipated, mean vasodilation occur, blood flow to outer skin surface is increased, and it will dissipate the heat to outer environment. Number one. And number two, in terrestrial mammals. Terrestrial mammals, evaporative cooling means sweating process is responsible to dissipate extra heat to outer environment. And number two, panting, respiratory tract modification in dogs. In dogs you can observe that whenever a dog is sitting in a hot environment, or during nowadays in this summer season, you can see that he is protruding his tongue and giving or flowing water drop by drop, and this water is hot water as compared to outer environment, and through this panting process the dog is also releasing its heat. So it is a respiratory modification. This one is also an MCQs. Next one is saliva and urine. Saliva and urine is used by bats as a tool to release their body heat. In saliva and in bats, saliva and urine is a source of heat dissipation. This one is also MCQs. In panting in dogs, it is also MCQs. Blubber comes as an short question, mark here as short question. And land mammals raise their fur. This one is also a short question. Whereas shivering thermogenesis and non-shivering thermogenesis, this is an also short question. Next one, what is brown fat? Write their example. This is a short question as well as MCQs. means it is also an MCQ, whereas it is also act as a short question. So that was all about your topic. Keep in mind that your presentation of your answer matter. If your presentation is best, you can get full marks. And if you have learned your question very well, but you have no sense to describe your answer to examiner, it will create difficulty for examiner, and that ultimately leads to loss your marks. So improve their presentation, that will leads to a maximum mark. So to solve this question, it is the best way that you have to it will help you to understand, learn, and to describe to their examiner. So that is the very best way to learn about this question. And if you have any suggestion, you can comment me in comment section, and subscribe this channel, like this video, and also share with your friends. Allah Hafiz.